All right, I have 25 minutes left on my phone. So this will be the what? Part 4. Obviously, sorry about that. I had to cut my camera. I went to go get something to eat and a bottle of water. Obviously. And you guys be alright, and I love it. I guarantee you all the Hollywood actors like, holy shit, man. Ivan's company can easily compete with Hollywood. Yeah, Ivan's paying us. Ivan can easily compete with all these big Hollywood companies for his salaries. Yes, my salary budgets are so big, I can afford to have 3 big A-listers in my movie and pay them like an unheard amount of money. Whereas Hollywood can't afford to have 3 big A-listers. Hollywood can't afford to have 3 big A-listers like that and pay them that kind of money. No way. Hollywood, if Hollywood can only afford to have like 1 big A-lister and pay him, and if they do have 3 A-listers, chances are they'll make like 15, 10 million bucks for the movie because Hollywood doesn't have the kind of budgets that I have for my movie. As for all my movies, I'm going to have a couple $100 million in salary budgets to pay the crewmen a rich salary and the actors a rich salary. The only actors who affect your budget a lot are the what? The actors who affect your budget a lot are the A-list actors. Even the small A-list actors affect your budget. If you pay like five people, I don't know, 3 people 9, 111, and 115, that's like $55, $60 million on your budget. The small A-listers and the bigger ones really affect your budget. As you're looking at like 3 people, you're looking at like $100 million, $90 million. They affect your budget. Hence why you got to put more money into the movie, and that way you can pay them a rich salary, obviously. That's why my company blows Hollywood out of the water, as most big A-listers in Hollywood don't make the kind of money I'm willing to pay them in Hollywood. There's exceptions where some actors get like 40 million, obviously. The only ones who can get a lot of money, like 40 million, 30 million, are the actors, 20 million, are the actors who are really, really big. Like Scarlett Johansson, Keanu Reeves, Will Smith, Dwayne Johnson. Those actors are big. Those actors can negotiate for that kind of money, obviously. Obviously, right? Whereas all the other ranks of bigger actors, they probably get on average like 7, 8 million per movie. 10 million per movie, 12 million per movie, 15 million per movie. That's how much I'm paying small A-list actors. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. And for the Western gangster movie, I'm thinking Shia LaBeouf and Leonardo DiCaprio. They're good for that movie. See what I'm saying here? Leonardo DiCaprio, I'll pay him like $39, $40 million. I'll pay him like Keanu Reeves' salary. Good deal. For my Western gangster movie, right? And Shia LaBeouf, I'll pay him $50.9 million if he's worth under $70 million by then, because he might be a bigger A-lister by then. If he's worth like $7 million in like 20 years from now, 18 years from now, whatever it is, I'll pay him like 17 million, 18 million. You can give him like a $7 million bonus, $6 million bonus, obviously. So even though, in my opinion, the moment you're worth over $70 million, you're now a bigger A-list actor in my opinion, obviously. So I'm gonna have my own payment structure based off my own opinion, obviously. So when I do the board meetings with I'm gonna have my board meeting. I'm gonna sit down, job family, for look, man. This is my payment structure for my company. If the guy's a B-list actor, don't pay him any more than $4.9 million. Because I can go a bit higher for the B-list actors. I can even pay the B-list actors $4.9 million. If the guy's a rising star, don't go any higher than $8.9 million. Pay him $5 to $8.9 million. The B-list actors pay them $2 to $4.9 million. The small A-listers pay them $9 to $50.9 million. Obviously. And then the bigger ones, you pay them $60 to $30 million. Right? Even $30.9 million you can pay them. Pay them $60 to $30.9 million. And based on how much the actor's worth, you pay them their bonus based on how much they're worth. That's how it works for my company. Oh my god, we got everything planned. Yes, I have everything planned for my company. I even have the payment structure planned for my company. Because I'm fucking self-made, yeah. And the kind of money I'm paying these actors is unheard of. As I told you, most A-list actors in Hollywood get a couple million per movie. And the bigger ones even get like 8 million, 10 million, 12 million per movie on average, 15 million. And so I'm easily competing with Hollywood. Yeah, I mean, your company easily competes with Hollywood, yeah. The only thing about my company is you don't get a piece of the profits for the movie sales. Where some of these bigger A-listers can negotiate for the pieces of profits for movies in Hollywood. You may be worth in Hollywood, in my movie you're not worth it, obviously. But in terms of salaries, I'm easily competing with Hollywood in salaries, as I'm paying them even more money than Hollywood on average. So I'm going to tell John Rendell, look, man, if the guy is worth $200 million plus, pay him that $15 to $20 million bonus range. Never go any higher than $20 million for the bonus. That's more than enough, obviously. And you pay him a good 20. You pay him a good what? You pay him that 24, $25 million salary range if the guy is worth over $200 million. You see what I'm saying here? If the guy is worth $100 million to $200 million, you pay him that $8 to $14 million bonus, which is nice, and you pay him that 16 to like 18 million salary, $18.9 million salary even now, which is nice, obviously. So if the guy's worth $100 million, $150 million, I'm saying $180 million around there, you pay him that what? That Ben Affleck salary. So you can pay him that $19 to $22 million, $19 to $22 million salary, and you pay him that $8 to $14 million bonus. So Ben Affleck, I'm paying him $14 million because he's worth like $150 million. Paying him $14 million if he's chosen, obviously, signing bonus, and he gets his $22 million salary. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. And if the guy is worth like 70, 80, 90, 95 million or something like that, if he's a guy, obviously, because it's different for the woman. As a woman, I don't get paid as much as a man. The guy is worth like 70, 80, 90 million. You pay him 16 to like $18 million. Obviously, you give him like a 5-7 hours, which is still nice, obviously. They don't get paid as much, but they still get a nice bonus, obviously. Whereas if the guy is worth $100 million to $200 million to $180 million around there, you pay him that like 19 to $22 million salary, and you pay him that what? That 8 to $14 million bonus. If the guy is worth $200 million plus, you pay him 23, 24, $25 million salary, obviously, and you pay him his 15 to $20 million bonus. Oh my God, you have everything planned? Yes, I have the whole payment structure planned out for my company, obviously. So because Will Smith is worth like $300 million, I'm paying him at the high end like a $20 million bonus, and I'm giving him even the high end salary, $30 million. You see what I'm saying? Because he's so big, obviously. He's worth like 300 plus million. Keanu Reeves, I'm paying him $40 million because he's worth like 300. Keanu Reeves is worth like 300 like some $million. And so I'm paying him at the high end. I'm paying him that $60 million bonus, $50 plus million bonus, and I'm paying him his rich $24 million salary. Scarlett Johansson is what? She's really big for a woman actor. She's at the high end for a woman actor. Hence why I'm paying her at the high end too. I'm paying her that $38 million, $15 million signing bonus, obviously, and I'm paying her that $23 million salary. You see what I'm saying? You guys get the picture here? Yeah, we get the picture. Yeah, you get the picture. See what I'm saying here? Right? And if the woman or man is a big A-list actor, they also get their $1.5 million for the poster sales because they're big. But I'm not going hard enough for them. That's good enough. If they want like $5 million, I'm not giving you $5 million for the poster sales. If you're not worth it, $1.5 million is good enough. Hence why you have to pay these A-list actors a lot of money to keep them happy, because they know me and VJ signed that big ass contract with Amazon, biggest movie contract ever made. We're going to make our billions off the posters and movies. Hence why, to keep them happy, you pay them what? A nice bonus. The way you want to keep guys like Will Smith happy, you got to pay him that money. Pay him at the high end, a nice $20 million bonus, and you give him a nice $30 million, $32 million salary, which is nice, obviously. And this is free millions, money that you're never going to make in Hollywood. In Hollywood, you don't make free millions. In Hollywood, you're a dirty slave. That's how it works in Hollywood, man. Excuse it if I sound weird. I'm eating food. Hence why VJ said I'm self-made, because you have everything planned. Yes, I have everything planned out for my company. I even have the payment structure planned for my company. I know how much I want to pay all these guys, as I'm not going any higher than $50 million for the salaries for the actors. As in Hollywood, most of them will never make $50 million. Most big A-lists on average get like 15, 12 million per movie. 17 million. Some of them can bargain for 20 sometimes, but most of the times they get like 15, 12 million. Hence, I'm easily competing with Hollywood, obviously. I told you, paying an actor $50 million is really rare. The only way I'll ever pay an actor $50 million is if the guy is really, really big, man. If it's someone like Dwayne Johnson, Will Smith, You know what I'm saying? Those guys are worth that like high end like 50 million bucks because they're so big. Whereas on average, I'm gonna pay all the big guys like 39, 38, 40 million, 41 million dollars around there, which is still nice. Obviously, you're still walking with a lot more money than Hollywood on average. If someone like Chris Hemsworth is in my movie, Chris Hemsworth is good for my Western gangster movie. I'm thinking he's good too. You can have him be in the, but by then he might be what? But he'll be bigger by then. By then he might even be worth like 250 million or something like that. If he's worth like 300 million or something by then, you can pay him at the high end even what, like 40, 45 million dollars, whatever it is. If he's, I'm just throwing names out there. I don't know. Well, I'm thinking Shia LaBeouf and what, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Those are the only two people I'm thinking of right now. Obviously, right? Yeah. So this video is pretty much me exposing you all to show you how wicked you are. And I'm piecing out. I'm not going to do like that. Talk about my two servers I want on board, their salaries. You know what I'm saying? How Jon Favreau. If Jon Favreau was hired, he's going to be making $150 million for the 20 years. $150 million after taxes is what? Sorry. Yeah, Jon Favreau is... Sorry, no taxes. Jon Favreau is making $150 million tax-free. After taxes, obviously, for the 20 years working for my company. And he made a lot of money, man. Well, as I told you, for most of my movies, we'll be making $30 million on average. And he made $150 million. 3 times 5 is 15, yeah. He's making $150 million for the 20 years of my 5 movies. Hence, Jon Favreau will have a nice retirement. Plus, he gets his $5 million for the retirement package, which is nice. And he gets his what? He gets his nice what? His nice $250,000 for the releases. Dave Filoni won't be making as much as John because he's not worth as much. But he made a rich $55 million during the 20 years. And he's walking with a nice paycheck, yeah. Rian Johnson made it rich like $75, $80 million. Which is a nice paycheck. I'm paying you a lot of money, yeah. During 20 years. That's why they're all what? I guarantee you when I put out the ads for the script developers, I'm gonna see Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, Jon Favreau, all of them sending in their resumes, obviously, because they want to be saved so bad. They don't want to be left behind. They know in Hollywood they're dirty slaves, whereas Ivan gives them their freedom, and he doesn't spoil them. Hollywood doesn't spoil them the way Ivan spoils them. Those guys will also get my luxury buffet too. And they'll be flown on my private jet for the world tours. If we go on that world tour, they get flown on my private jet. They're part of the world tours, being spoiled. As for the world tours, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni won't have to pay a dime for the expenses. The expenses is all covered through the business account, obviously. But if they want to have a beer, and buy clothes for their kids or family, look, that's your own money, man. If you want to have a beer in a hotel, you know what I'm saying, see a movie, go to the bar, you know what I'm saying, buy clothes for your kids or your wife or something, that's your own money. I paid you your money, obviously. But there'll be times when the rounds will be on, the beer will be on me and VG, obviously. We just pay with our business account, obviously. But their expenses and hotel stays are all paid for during what? The world tour, and they're getting spoiled. Oh my god, this video is so interesting. It's so cool talking about your company. Yeah, I thought it'd be cool to talk about. I already mentioned this in my past videos. I thought it'd be cool to talk about the script developers' salaries. Me exposing you, obviously, because you guys pissed me off, obviously. You chose my rip-off bullshit over my glory. You're rep people. As well as what? The payment structure for the Hollywood actors. For the 5 groups of actors. So technically speaking, you have what? For the 4 groups of actors, not 5. 4 groups of actors. So technically speaking, you have 3 groups of actors. You have the B-list actors, small A-listers, and bigger ones. That's how I see it. That's the Ivan O'Meara definition. And some people in Hollywood might disagree with me, obviously. Ivan, there's no rising stars. In my opinion, there's B-list actors, rising stars, smaller A-listers, bigger A-listers. But even within the bigger A-lister rank, there's ranks. You see what I'm saying here? There's ranks. You have the guys who are worth $70 million to $100 million. To $90 million. You have the guys who are worth $100 million to $180 million, and you have the guys who are worth $200 million plus, the really big ones. You see what I'm saying? There's ranks of them too. That's why I have a payment system. Right, set up for my company, obviously. And I'm gonna have this board meeting with my what? With my two. I don't have to have the board meeting with my other five, but I'm gonna have the board meeting with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Because there'll be times when Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be signing the contracts too. Hey, look, man, John, Dave, take care of the contracts, sign the actors. I'm gonna tell them, look, man, make sure don't go any higher than $20 million for the bonus. Obviously, for the ones worth $200 million. Right? Don't go any lower than $50 million for the ones who are worth $200 million. With the exception of the woman. The woman, they're not worth as much, obviously. And for the ones who are worth 100 million to like 180 million, don't go any higher than 14 million for the bonus, and don't go any lower than 8 million. The ones who are worth 70 million to like 90 million around there, don't go any lower than $60 million for the salary, and don't go any higher than like 18.9 million for the salary for the salary. And don't go any lower than 4 million for the bonus, and don't go any higher than 7 million for the bonus. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yes. Do not follow what? Follow the what? Follow the plan. If you go higher, I'll be very, very pissed off, man. Look, man, I have to watch out for my cap. Never pay a big A-list actor more than 20 million for the bonus. Okay, never pay an A-lister any more than 20 million for the bonus, and never pay him any higher than $30 million for the bonus. There's exceptions, obviously. I'm the only one who can break that rule, obviously, because I'm the boss, obviously. Like Will Smith, I'm willing to even pay him like $32 million. You know what I'm saying here? But like, never. My point is, never go any higher than $30 million for what? For the A-list actors in Hollywood, the big ones, and don't go any lower than 16 million for the big ones. For the small A-listers, never go any lower than 9 million, and never go any higher than 15.9 million. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. And small A-listers, you base their payments off how much they're worth too. If the guy's worth like, I don't know, 10, 15 million, 20 million, you pay him that 9 to like 10, 11 million range around there. If the guy's worth 10 to like $20 million. But there's some A-list actors who are kind of like, you pay them a bit less. You pay them like 8.5 million. Like if Michael B. Jordan were in my movie, I would pay him like, I don't know, I'd pay him probably like 8.9 million or something like that, 8.7 million. Because even though he's an A-list actor, he's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like a rising star. You see what I'm saying here? Right? If someone like Oscar Isaac was in my movie, I'd pay him like around that 8.7 million range. Because even though he's an A-list actor, he's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'd pay him like 9 million because he did Star Wars, obviously. He's an A-list actor, obviously. If someone was like Elijah Wood was in my movie, I would pay him like 9 million, 9.5 million. You see what I'm saying? You base actors' payments based on how much they're worth. Yeah. If someone like Orlando Bloom was in my movie, I would pay him probably like 11.5, 12 million. Because he's worth like $30 million. You see what I'm saying here? But I told you, there's exceptions. If the guy is pretty major, you pay him a bit less. You don't pay him 9 million. No, pay him a bit less. The guy is pretty major and he's a small A-list actor. You can pay him $7 to $8 to $9 million. There's exceptions, obviously. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, there's an exception to the rule. You see what I'm saying here? And if the guy is worth like 40, 50, 60 million, then you got to pay him at the high end. Pay him that 13 million plus. 13, 14, 15, even 50.9 million plus, obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah. Obviously. The reason why Shia LaBeouf is worth about $30 million, so for him, because he did Transformers, you also have to base their payments on what kind of movies he did too. Because Transformers is such a huge franchise, I'm willing to pay Shia LaBeouf at the high end, even 50.9 million, because Transformers is one of the biggest franchises ever made. You see what I'm saying here, guys? Yeah, we understand, yes. I'm going to tell Jon Favreau, I'm going to sit down with Jon Favreau, look, man, because sometimes they're going to be signing those contracts. Look, man, when you sign these actors, don't pay them any more than 20 million, and don't pay them any lower than 50 million if the guy's worth over $200 million. For the men, obviously. For the woman, it's different, obviously. The woman don't get paid as much as the men. Obviously, right? Yeah, I understand. Yes, you follow my rule as if you pay him more, I can fire your ass, man. I'd be very pissed off. Never pay him any more than $20 million for the bonus, and don't go any higher than $30 million for the salary, and don't go any lower than $60 million. For the small A-listers, don't go any lower than 9, and don't go any higher than $50.9 million. And if the guy's pretty major, you pay him a bit less. Don't pay him 9. Pay him like, you can pay him 9, but pay him like the lower end, like 9.5, 8.5, 7 million, 8.7. I'm saying pay him a bit less. You see what I'm saying here? Right? Yeah, we understand. Yes. I'm going to have this talk with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni or Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams if they're hired. Obviously, I'm gonna have this talk with those two studios. Look, man, this is sometimes you guys are gonna have to handle the contracts with the actors. This is the payment structure for my company. Obviously, I never pay an actor more than 50 million for my company, as I'm not going any higher than 50 million for my company. And never go, and for the bigger A-list actors, give them a $1.5 million royalty check for the postal sales. Obviously, and give all the actors, the major ones, money for what? For the what? For the commercial ads. Obviously, and give them a royalty check, a $250,000 royalty check for the release. Never go any higher than $250,000 for the royalty check for the release. The actors want $1 million, $2 million, they're ripping you off. As $2,000 is good enough, as you're not gonna make this money in Hollywood. In Hollywood, you get your flat salary and that's it. You don't get a dime for fucking re-releases in Hollywood. Obviously, unless you do television, you get your royalty checks. Obviously, never go any higher than $2,000 for the royalty check. They want $1 million, $2 million, they're ripping you off. Never agree to that deal. Unless you're Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson. Those guys are really, really big. That's why I'm paying them $2 million. There's exceptions, obviously. Okay, I understand. Yes, follow the plan, man. Follow the payment structure. If you breach the payment structure, I can fire your ass. And they're going to listen to me because I pay a lot of money and I save their ass. Listen to me, guys. I'm the boss. Even though you're the boss of my company, John, you know what I'm saying? You have your nice office. You're the boss of the 17. You're the most powerful man, pretty much the most powerful man in the industry, pretty much, because you're my executive producer. You're the boss. Please listen to me, John. Yes, you're the boss. The 17, the other 6 will listen to you, obviously. Dave Filoni is under you, and I'm saying he's the boss over the other 5. You're the boss over of my company, John, but please listen to me. Don't go any higher. Don't go over the salary, the amount I'm willing to pay. I understand. You know what I'm saying? And that way he knows, obviously. And every time every time John and Dave look at the reels, every time, once you cast all the actors, I want you studying their IMDb's. That way I know. Study their IMDb's, obviously, and that way you know if they're BS actors or not. That way you know if they're ripping you off or not. As I'm going to find a way to put these guys, well, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Once you look at the rules, I want you going over their IMDb's. That way I know who this actor is, obviously. If he's a BS actor or not. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. Yeah. Because trust me, to end it off here before I end the video here, oh my god, this video is so interesting. Yeah, you better enjoy this listening to this once again. Like, for example, if KJ Apa, like the B-list actors, for the B-list actors, I guarantee you they're going to try and even get like $10 million, man. Look, man, you're not worth $10 million. You're a B-list actor, television star. I'm not paying you any more than $4.9 million, as that's good enough, as you're never going to make this money in Hollywood. As for television, you get like $1,700,000. Sometimes B-list actors can bargain for $2 million, $3 million in television, obviously. But that's rare. Most of them get like $700,000, $500,000, $400,000 in television. Look, man, you're not an iconic actor. You're not good for the big screen. Hence why I'm not paying you the kind of money I'm paying the A-list actors, because you don't have star power. Hence why I'm not paying you as much money. Whereas the small A-listers and the bigger ones have star power, have more star power, have some star power, a lot of star power. Hence why they're worth a lot of money. And you're not worth so much money. You gotta let them know that, man. If KJ Apa's agent's greedy for their unique, I'm saying, I fly him in, he tries and gets like 7-8 million. Look, man, you're a B-list actor who did Rivendell. Rivendell was a hit show for the first season, I'm saying. Hence why you're worth a nice value of $2.83 million, $3.3 million for my movie, obviously. But I'm not gonna, if you think for 1 second you're gonna dupe me and have me pay you $10 million, you're crazy, as you're not worth, that's an A-lister salary, as I'm not paying you that kind of money. You're a B-list actor, hence I'm paying you $3.3 million, which is good enough. As B-list actors, no offense, no one cares about them. People only care about the A-list actors. That's why the A-list actors are the ones who make the money. Hence why for the greatest hit movie, you're looking at a lot of buzz, because Keanu Reeves and Scarlett Johansson and Ben Affleck have star power. They're big A-list actors. When you see Keanu Reeves and all of them and Scarlett Johansson and Ben Affleck, it's going to create a lot more buzz for my movie because they're big what? They're big stars, obviously. Hence why they're worth their rich salary. And $1.5 million for the role of the postal sales, obviously. And the small A-listers build a bit of buzz too. They don't build as much buzz, but they build some buzz. Hence why they're worth their rich salary. You see what I'm saying here? Whereas nobody cares about the B-list actors. Hence why they're not worth as much money. You get paid for what you're worth in this world, man. I'm going to keep saying that. You get paid for for what you're worth in this world. Do not let these Hollywood actors dupe you, especially the biggest actors. Do not let those guys dupe you, man. As they're not worth any more than $4.99. That's me being very generous, as you're never going to make that money in Hollywood. Anyways, this is Friday from O'Mara. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my another video later on. I don't know, tonight. I'll make another video. I hope you guys enjoyed this very interesting Ivan's Listening series. This is Ivan O'Mara. I am signing out. Peace.